In the aftermath of the Great Flood, the earth lay bare and reborn, washed clean of the old world's corruption and ready for new seeds to be sown. Amidst this nascent world, the descendants of Noah faced the monumental task of repopulating and rebuilding. From the line of Ham, one figure rose, destined to imprint his ambition indelibly upon this untouched canvas: Nimrod, the mighty hunter. In the land of Shinar, under the vast expanse of post-diluvian skies, Nimrod, son of Cush, grew from boyhood to manhood with a vigor and intensity that set him apart. His grandfather Ham often spoke of the old world, of its splendor and its downfall. These stories shaped young Nimrod's dreams. He would not just inhabit the earth, he would master it. As he grew, so did his reputation. Nimrod became known not only for his prowess in hunting wild beasts, but also for his charismatic leadership. Men were drawn to him, eager to follow someone who could challenge the wilderness that sprawled untamed and menacing. "Why should we scatter like seeds in the wind?" Nimrod would ask his growing band of followers as they gathered around campfires under starlit skies. "Why not build our strength, our city, here in Shinar, where the earth is fertile and the beasts roam large?" His vision was contagious, his arguments compelling. With Nimrod at their head, they began to build. First, homes of mud, brick and stone, then walls, and soon a city took form. Babel, they called it, where the confusion of the new world found order under Nimrod's hand. With Babel established, Nimrod's ambitions swelled. He traveled, explored, and conquered. Wherever he went, he left markers of his empire, cities that stood as testaments to his greatness. Erech, with its towering walls, Akkad, the military stronghold, and Calneh, the seat of learning and culture. Nimrod's dominion stretched as far as the eye could see. In Babel, the pinnacle of his vision was taking shape, an immense tower. "A tower that reaches the heavens," he proclaimed, "to show that we are no longer subjects of the flood's whims, but masters of our fate. This will be our monument, our legacy." Stone by stone, the tower rose, engineered with innovations that had never before been conceived. The people worked, fueled by a shared vision and the relentless drive of their leader. Nimrod watched from on high, his eyes alight with the fire of ambition. But whispers of dissent began to echo. "We reach too far," some murmured. "We challenge the heavens themselves." Nimrod, however, would hear none of it. "We are the makers of our own destiny," he insisted. "Let the gods see our tower and know who truly rules the earth." The construction of the Tower of Babel became the heart of Nimrod's empire. Day after day, scores of workers, craftsmen and architects swarmed the site, their spirits buoyed by a leader who dared defy the very sky. The tower, with its spiraling design, was not only a feat of engineering, but a symbol of unified human effort and ambition. Around the tower, the city of Babel thrived like a well-watered garden in the desert. Markets spilled over with goods from distant lands, attracted by the prosperity the project inspired. Artisans, traders, and travelers mingled in the streets, drawn by the magnetism of this monumental endeavor. The construction of such a monumental tower required unprecedented coordination of resources and labor. Nimrod instituted a system of labor that was both rigorous and revolutionary. Workers were organized into brigades, each responsible for a specific segment of construction. This structured approach not only streamlined the efforts, but also fostered a sense of camaraderie among the workers. Innovative techniques in engineering were developed to handle the challenges posed by such a massive structure. Pulleys and hoists were designed to lift heavy materials to new heights, and architects experimented with wind-resistant designs to ensure the tower's stability in the relentless winds that swept across the plains of Shinar. Nimrod encouraged cultural exchanges, believing that a diverse empire was a strong one. Scholars and poets from across his lands gathered in Babel, their discussions and debates filling the halls and public squares. Under Nimrod's rule, Babel became a melting pot of ideas, a place where innovation was as common as the bricks forming the tower. Nimrod stood atop the partially completed tower, surveying the expansive city below. "See what unity brings," he exclaimed to his closest advisors. "Under one language, one purpose, we have achieved what generations before us could only dream of. This tower will be our bridge between earth and heaven, a beacon of human strength." But as the tower soared higher, so did the tensions among the people. The relentless pace demanded by Nimrod, combined with his growing despotism, began to sow dissent. "He pushes us too hard," some workers whispered. "He has forgotten that we are but men, not gods." Despite the growing murmurs of unrest, the tower continued to rise, a stark monument against the horizon. Celebrations were held to mark each new level completed, yet not even the festivities could mask the increasing strain or the ominous feeling that something was amiss. It was during these times of both triumph and turmoil that the heavens themselves seemed to take notice of Nimrod's audacity. As legend would have it, the divine council watched with growing concern. "This Nimrod, he seeks to rival us, to build a monument to human arrogance," they said among themselves. "Let us go down and see this city and tower which the children of man have built." The divine presence swept through Babel like a sudden storm, invisible yet palpable. One morning, as the sun rose over the towering edifice, a strange phenomenon began to unfold. Mid-conversation, workers turned to one another in confusion, their words suddenly unintelligible. "What say you?" one would ask, only to hear sounds that made no sense. Panic spread like wildfire as every man, woman, and child found themselves speaking in a tongue foreign even to their own ears. Nimrod rushed to the scene, his face a mask of fury and disbelief. "What is this treachery?" he roared, though his words were now just as indecipherable to his people. The tower, once a symbol of unity, had become a babel of discordant voices. Nimrod, in the face of this unprecedented crisis, refused to relinquish his dreams of empire and divinity. With the same determination that had driven the tower's rise, he sought to restore order. He roamed the streets of Babel, shouting commands that fell on ears that could no longer understand his language. "Gather! Work!" he would command, his voice fierce with desperation. But his words only deepened the division, as each group interpreted his gestures and tone according to their new tongues, leading to further misunderstanding and mistrust. In a bid to salvage his project and reunite his people, Nimrod attempted to learn the new languages, to bridge the gaps with his sheer will. Yet the more he struggled, the clearer the divine message became. His ambition had led to his own undoing. As the reality of their situation settled in, groups began to migrate away from Babel, seeking places where they could live and communicate without hindrance. Nimrod watched, powerless, as his empire dissolved into bands of wandering tribes, each taking with them stories of a king who dared challenge the heavens and lost. The cities he had built, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh, faced declines as their populations dwindled. The infrastructure, once the envy of the known world, fell into disrepair, and the grandeur that Nimrod had so painstakingly built faded into the shadows of forgotten glory. In the latter days of his reign, Nimrod became a solitary figure, a shadow of the mighty hunter and king he once was. He wandered the empty halls of his palaces and walked the deserted streets of Babel, pondering the ruins of his aspirations. The mighty hunter, who once sought to capture the very essence of human potential, was now captive to his reflections and regrets. Legend has it that during one of his solitary wanderings, Nimrod was confronted by a young man, one of the few who chose to stay in the crumbling city. "Great king," the young man asked, Why did you build the tower so high, when the strength of a kingdom lies not in its heights, but in the hearts of its people?" These words struck Nimrod, piercing through the armor of his pride. They echoed in his thoughts during his final days, a poignant reminder of what he had failed to see, that the true foundation of any empire was not its monuments or achievements, but the unity and well-being of its people. Thus, the story of Nimrod, once hailed as a titan among men, concludes with a powerful lesson on the limits of human ambition and the inescapable truths of divine providence. His story, passed down through generations, serves as a haunting legacy of what it means to reach too far, too fast, and with too much pride. The story of Nimrod, the mighty hunter and ambitious king, lingers in the collective memory of humanity. The ruins of Babel, scattered and weathered by time, stand as a mute testament to the limits of human endeavor against divine will. Though empires rise and fall, the tale of Nimrod serves as an enduring parable of the balance between human achievement and humility. In the annals of history and the chapters of Scripture, Nimrod remains a figure emblematic of human potential and its boundaries, reminding all who remember him that while the stars may beckon, the earth is where our stories are lived and ultimately where they end.